Welcome everyone to another session on current affairs by Civilservicesprep IAS Academy. So in this session, we will be looking into another important topic that is going to be relevant for this coming years, especially during 2026 and 2027. That is delimitation. So in this session, we will be looking into what is the concept of delimitations, what are the constitution articles that provide for delimitation, what is the issue regarding or what is the furor regarding delimitation. And we will also be trying to explain this in a mains point of view as well. So we will cover both a prelims perspective as well as the mains perspective on this topic. So recently, states like southern states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, they all have voiced that delimitation that is going to be conducted after 2026 is going to impact their political representation, the seats allotted to them in Lok Sabha. So this is going to, they are saying that this is going to make the people of the south lose their political say in the governance of the country. But the Home Minister has reassured the southern states that nothing will be done against the people of the south in this regard. So we will be focusing on the concept of delimitation as well as the articles that provide for it on a UPSC both prelims and a mains point of view. So first of all, let's begin with the concept of delimitation. So basically the idea is that each person has one vote, right? That is the basic foundation of a democracy. Each person has one vote and one value. That is also the concept enshrined in Article 326. That is the concept of one person, one vote. Essentially, all these ideas actually flow from that idea. So the concept of delimitation is quite simple. So when you have a country that is divided into different states, so each state obviously will have different population. So whenever a particular you have the house of people is there, so the Lok Sabha, and each state will have a certain share of seats in this Lok Sabha, the house of the people. So this allocation of seats to each state according to their population, that process is known as delimitation. So delimitation is usually done as per the constitution. It should be done after every census. Okay, so that we will look into the constitution articles. I am just going to explain the concept for you. So this, you have the map of India and these are the territorial constituencies. Please understand that this is different from the assembly constituencies for state elections. We will also discuss the how this happens for state elections as well. But this territorial constituencies we are going to be discussing now, is actually about the constituencies for the House of the People for the Lok Sabha elections. So according to the constitution, please remember whenever you study concepts like this, use the wordings of the constitution as your guide. Because they can expressly give any PSC or any exams, they might simply ask a particular phrase and they will just ask whether this phrase is mentioned in a particular article. So always when you study constitutional articles, ensure that you follow the wordings of the article. You understand the concept and you follow the wordings of the article. So we will look into the articles later, but remember the wordings echo as per the constitution. So according to the constitution, it says that for the House of the People elections, that is for the Lok Sabha elections, the ratio of seats to the population of a particular state should be same across the different states. So these are the different territorial constituencies. Say you have 3 states in India or in a country. So you have 3 states. Okay, 3 states A, B and C. So the constitution says that the ratio of seats allotted to each of these states divided by the population of each of these states should be the same. Okay, so that is the foundational idea behind delimitation process for the House of the People for Lok Sabha elections. Okay, Lok Sabha elections. So this is what is ensured here. So let's say you have state A, okay, say it has been allotted 10 seats, okay, and say it has a population of 1 lakh, okay. So what will be the, the ratio? It will come to 1:10,000, which simply means the number of population that one seat represents. One seat essentially means one member of parliament, right? So one member of parliament represents 10,000. So the decision makers have come together and they said that 1:10,000 is the ratio we will be following for all the states. Okay, so please understand 1:10,000. That is, one MP is going to represent 10,000 people. Okay, that is the idea. Okay, now say state B. State B, say it has a population of 10 lakh. Okay, so B has a population of 10 lakh. A had a population of 1 lakh. Okay, since B has a population of 10 lakh, we will observe that if you observe the same ratio, one seat is going to represent 10,000 people, B will get a seat of 100 seats. Okay, B has 100 seats, A has 10 seats, and C, say it has a population of 10,000. Okay, 10,000. So we will observe that A has 10 seats, B has 100 seats, and C will have 1 seat, right? Because the ratio is 1:10,000. So this is essentially the concept of delimitation. So this will ensure, once again, interstate parity, right? It will ensure that the population, the number of population that represents one seat will be same across the different states in both A, B and C. 1:10,000. Okay, this is just an example for your idea, for your understanding. Okay, so the next important thing is the Article 81. So we will move on to the article as well. So this, like I mentioned, the earlier idea was interstate parity. The Constitution also provides for intrastate parity. That is, it also provides that the population per each territorial constituency. Okay, I will just explain that concept as well. So we ensured that A, B and C, each state has been given enough seats so that each seat represents 10,000 people. So that was ensured. Now within the state A, B and C also there is need to be some sort of parity, right? So each state will be divided into territorial constituency such that the population of each territorial constituency divided the seats allotted to them will also be same across the state. So say state A. Say state A has like about 10 territorial constituencies. It has 10 territorial constituencies. So it has been allotted, the number of seats it got was 10 seats. Okay, 10 seats. So since it has 10 territorial constituencies, what the Constitution says is that the population of all these territorial constituencies they will take, and the population of the territorial constituency divided by the seats allotted to that. The population of the territorial constituency as well as the seats allotted to the territorial constituency should be same across the state, within the state as well. We will discuss that concept a little bit, but please understand that Constitution provides for both interstate parity as well as intrastate parity. So for your information, intrastate parity is not much of an issue, right? Because redrawing of boundaries is only required. You just need to redraw the territorial constituencies, the boundaries for within the state. So that is not much of an issue because it involves adjustment within the state. The problem actually comes when one of these states are actually increasing, or the population of any of the states are increasing, but you are not increasing the total number of seats that you have in the Lok Sabha, or the council, the house of people. So we will discuss all these concepts one by one. So please understand the two ideas that Constitution provides. One is the interstate parity. Interstate parity, it ensures by providing that the ratio of seats divided by population is same across states. It provides for intrastate parity by ensuring that the population of the territorial constituency divided by the seats allotted to them are also same across states. So please understand this concept. These concepts are actually provided in the constitutional article of 81. So we will discuss that article and again reaffirm these ideas. Okay, so this is article 81. So it actually, please remember when you study the article, please also remember the heading of the article. That is actually the title. The name of the article also is important. Composition of the House of the People. Okay, so please remember that. Okay, subject to the provisions of Article 331. 331 essentially provides for reservations for SC/ST communities. Please read that article as well. But we will not be focusing on the reservation bit as a major content. We will be strictly limiting ourselves to delimitation. Okay, subject to this the article which provides for the reservation of SC/ST communities, the House of the People shall consist of not more than 530 chosen by direct election. So another important tip that I want to give is that whenever you study the constitution, before you use other content and all, or you just, what you do is that you get a broader idea of these kind of content. You read from books, articles, from the internet. But whenever you have some doubt, please read the constitution itself. Please read the text. The real literal reading of the constitution is required, because like I said before, they can simply ask a particular phrase. They can just copy paste from some wordings from the constitution and ask you. Okay, so to understand, to crack those kind of statements, questions, you need to have read the article. And remember, these are articles that are repeatedly coming in current affairs. Okay, so it makes sense that you read these articles thoroughly. So not more than 530. So this is the maximum strength from states. Okay, territorial constituency on the states. Okay, and 20 members from the UTs. This is the maximum strength, or what we call as the total membership, absolute membership, right? So absolute membership is 530 plus 20, 550. But we don't have that much. We actually have 543 seats. Okay, so this is the second clause that is very important. There shall be allotted to each state a number of seats in the House of the People in such a manner that the ratio of between that number, which is the number of seats allotted to the state, and the population of the state is so far as practical the same for all states. So this is that provision that we earlier discussed as interstate parity. Okay, this ensures interstate parity. Each state shall be divided into territorial constituencies in such a manner that the ratio between the population of each constituency and the number of seats allotted to it, so far as possible, is the same throughout the state. This is the intrastate parity. Okay, intra. But it provides another exception. What is the exception? It is not applicable for all those states that do not have a population of 6 million. Okay, this is not applicable to states that has a population that have less the population of 6 million. If the population of the state is less than 6 million, you don't need to follow this interstate parity rule. Usually Sikkim, Manipur, all those smaller states have only 1 seat or less, something like that. Under some other special articles are there. So under those articles, this is the exception, because they have small populations, right? In this, so okay, the next bit is actually the now we are moving on to the what is the what happened, the idea of population control, and what did our policy makers, how did they amend the constitution to ensure all this. So we will discuss all those things. So before going that, I hope this part is clear. Now, usually, so the constitution says that under article 82, it says that there has to be some readjustment after every census. But it was observed that India's population was growing, right? So if India's population was continuously growing, and if the constitution actually says that, okay, there's no problem, as long as your population increase, we will conduct a census, and according to that we will allot your states, allot your seats. So there is no incentive for any population control, or to check the population. This will, there is a chance for this actually causing some imbalance in the demography. Right. So the policymakers understood that, and then what they did was that, okay, what we will do is that, to ensure that states focus on population control, we will give them a freeze. We will stop the allocation of seats. So that was basically done under the 42nd Amendment of 1976 by Indira Gandhi. So it's also known as the the mini constitution, all this, but that's a separate topic. But that amendment, what it did is that it said that we are now going to stop this readjustment of allocation of seats for interstate parity on the basis of population. We are not going to allot you any more seats, but we are going to freeze it on the basis of the 1971 census. 91 census. So this census data will be used for you to, and it will, based on that, we will allot you the seats in the house of the people. But then we will stop, and only after the year 2000. Only after the year 2000 will we conduct another census, and on the basis of that we will again start the allocating the seats again. Okay, so that was actually inserted by the 42nd Amendment, and it also said that, okay, what that's also we're going to do, and we are also going to freeze the intrastate parity, that is the redrawing of territorial constituencies within the state. That also we are going to freeze on the basis of 1971 census. That is also an important point. Keep that in mind. Both were froze. Both were freezed by the 42nd Amendment, both interstate and intrastate. So we will once again recap all these things. Please do not get worried. Just we understand the concept. Remember the article 81. The title of the article, composition of the House of the People. That is the they may simply say the word Lok Sabha is explicitly mentioned in the constitution. Okay, it's not there. So please understand that those kind of ideas you can only get if you read the article. So whenever you understand, after you understand the concept, please go through the article yourself and prepare notes like that. Okay, it will ensure that you have really understand. If you're not understanding, please then go to the internet, go to your teachers and all. But read the constitution first. Okay, so this is the freezing. We will discuss that again. Okay, so these are the amendments made to Article 81. Okay, this is the 42nd Amendment that I mentioned. This inserted the year 2000 as the year after which the census is to be conducted for the data on population for number of seats allotted to the state. This is for interstate parity. Right, interstate parity. What was the equation? Seats divided by population. To ensure that this ratio is same throughout the country for all the states. This is the interstate parity. So please remember that this seats and population, this is the population of the state, right? And this is the seats allotted to the state. And this actually represents how many people are represented by one MP, one member of parliament. Division of territorial constituencies within the states. This is actually intrastate, right? And what is that equation? Population of territorial constituencies divided by seats allotted to that territorial constituencies. Okay, so this is the population of the territorial constituency within the state, right? So you have, if you have voted for Lok Sabha, you will understand that there are territorial constituencies that are notified by the election commission for House of the People elections, right? So that particular constituencies, there will be 3 seats will be there. Or if it's a big territorial constituency. But if you look across the state, if you calculate this ratio will almost be same. Okay, this ensures that each person or each person within the state has equal value of their vote. That is according to Article 326. Please, I hope these two concepts are clear. Okay, so right. So this is the 42nd amendment. So inserted 1971 year as the census year. So until the first census after 2000, which census data will be used? 1971 census data will be used for this equation as well as for these equations, this population statistics. All these formula will be calculated on the basis of 1971. This is 42nd amendment. But afterwards it was understood that okay, this is fine, but there is no problem if we change the use the latest statistics for calculating this intrastate parity, because it only ensures redrawing of the boundaries of territorial constituencies, right? So there is no problem if we use the latest statistics for calculating intrastate parity. There is no problem. So what the 84th amendment, remember 84th amendment, remember the year 2001. So essentially after 2000 this deadline is over. So something needed to be done. So 84th amendment of 2001 said that okay, 2026 will be the year after which a census will be conducted and that data will be used for calculating the interstate parity. But they said that okay, this for ensuring intrastate parity within the state, okay, that population of that data can be used, or the latest census data can be used, and which was the latest census? 1991. Okay, 1991 could be used. This was what the 84th amendment did. Please understand the logic behind it. Okay, because intrastate parity, there is no controversy regarding it, right? Because it's just redistribution within the state. Now the 87th amendment of 2003. Okay, it said that okay, for the same thing we can use the latest data. What is that? 2001. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, so I hope this the chronology is clear, the idea is clear. How this we can change the division of territorial constituencies with the latest population data. I hope this is clear. Now moving on to the next important article, Article 170, which deals with the composition of legislative assemblies. This is the heading. Please remember the heading as well, the title of the article. Okay, so the first is the subject to provisions of Article 333, which is again regarding the reservations of SC/ST communities in the State Legislative Assembly. We are just read those articles as well. So this actually provides the maximum number and minimum number of a state legislative assembly. Keep that in mind. The maximum is 500 and minimum is 60. Okay, so please remember these kind of numbers. There is a limit on the strength of the state legislative assembly, 500 and minimum 60. Okay, they will be chosen by direct elections. The second clause says that they will be divided into territorial constituency in such a manner that the ratio between the population of each constituency and the number of seats allotted to it will be same across state. So this is actually about state elections. Okay, assembly elections, state assembly elections. For those purposes, the entire state will be divided into territorial constituencies. Please understand that these territorial constituencies are different from the earlier territorial constituencies in Article 81. This is for state assembly. So these constituencies, the state will be divided into such constituencies in such a manner the ratio between the population of each constituency and the number of seats allotted to it, population divided by seats, will be same across the state. Okay, this is also kind of like it actually depends upon the number of seats that a state has. So just understand the formula, just understand the wordings, how it is, and remember that these are different from the constituencies of Article 81. Okay. Now, so usually what happens is that delimitation is a process conducted nationally. So basically delimitation refers to both these ideas, interstate parities and intrastate parity, both ideas are there, along with this concept. That is, it also allots the number of seats of state legislative assemblies. That process, okay, that bit is also delimitation. Okay, allotting the number of seats in the state legislative assembly is also considered delimitation. It is considered a national process for both, at a national scale as well as state scale. So for a state scale, the Delimitation Commission has to follow this equation. Okay, this is the equation it has to follow. So when they are calculating this equation, there is a, the population of a constituency is mentioned, right? That is what they are explaining here. So for this, again, the same logic is used. Okay, same logic. So this again has been amended in the same manner as Article 81, 42nd Amendment, then 84th Amendment and 87th Amendment. So just like how the Article 81 was actually amended, these two will be amended. So like I mentioned, 42nd Amendment, what it did was that it said, okay, we will fix a year 2000. After that year, we will conduct a census and that data will be used for calculating the population of each constituency and the number of seats allotted to it. Okay, then what they said, and also the redrawing of the division of territorial constituencies. The territorial constituencies will be divided on the basis of 1971 census. Okay, so that is also mentioned here. Okay, so please read this in an entirety if you want to understand. The basic gist is that this article has also been amended on the same base of the Article 81. So first you have the 42nd Amendment, which said that 2000 is a year after which we will conduct a census. That data will be used for calculating this equation. Until then we will use 1971 census. 1971 census for that, as well as for division of constituencies. Then the 84th Amendment came. 84th Amendment said, okay, we will fix a year 2026. 2026, after that year we will conduct a census and that data will be used for calculating this equation. Until then, if redrawing of territorial constituencies will be done on the basis of 1991 census. Okay, 1991 census. And then the 87th Amendment came in 2003, which said that, okay, we are not going to change the 2026 standpoint or the use of 1971 census, but we will allow the redrawing of constituencies on the basis of 2001 census. That is the same pattern, the same idea of the three amendments has been followed in both articles, Article 81 as well as Article 170. Okay. Also keep in mind that the total number of seats, okay, total number of seats by such authority, total number of seats and the division of state into territorial shall be readjusted by such authority. The such authority here is Delimitation Commission. Okay, in such a manner as Parliament may by law determine. Okay, Parliament may by law, Delimitation Act is there. Okay, will be according to that act. So okay, these are all just provisos to ensure that there is no logistical issues. Okay, they say that if a particular election is there, it will follow the previous territorial constituencies, how it was divided before. That is, territorial constituencies, their division will not change midst of an election. Basically that. It's not that important. Okay, the last thing is that the total number of seats. Okay, provided also that until the relevant figures for the first census taken after 2026 have been published, it shall not be necessary to adjust the total number of seats in the Legislative Assembly that has been calculated as per 1971 census. Simply put, it says that 1971 census will be used to calculate the total number of seats until the census after 2026. Okay, similarly, the division of the state into territorial constituencies will also be based on the 2001 census. Okay, 2001 census until the census after 2026. So, we will just recap all these things, but please understand both Article 170 and Article 81 followed the same pattern of amendment. Okay, 42nd, 84, 87th. They all inserted particular years that we have discussed. We will discuss it once more at the end, but please understand they follow the same idea, same logic. Okay, this is again the amendments to Article 170. The 42nd amendment, what it did? It inserted the year 2000, after which the census is to be conducted for the data on population for calculating the formula population of territorial constituency divided by number of seats allotted to each territorial constituency. Okay, this is as per Article 170. Okay, for the purposes of the state elections, state legislative assembly elections. Okay, inserted the year 1971 as the census year for the data on population for this formula. Same thing. But they said that the 1971 census will be used. Okay, the total number of seats. To calculate the total number of seats also, 1971 census will be used. Okay, then you have the 84th amendment. 84th amendment, 2000 where, remember the amendment, remember the year also. Okay, year also is important. 2001, but you can guess because after 2000 they said that something had to be done, right? So it's a deadline. So they said that after 2026 we will do this the same. We will do this. Okay, then they inserted the year 1991 census for the data on division of territorial constituencies. Okay, that was allowed. 87th says 2001 census will be used for division of territorial constituencies. Okay, so same thing. Article 81, how it was, it goes the same way here as well. Okay, so these are other important articles. Article 327, remember the title of the article, power of the parliament to make provisions with respect to elections to legislators. If you read Article 328, it talks about the power of state legislatures to make provisions regarding state elections. But if you read that article, there will be no mention of delimitation. Delimitation is strictly within the purview of the Parliament, and that is provided under Article 327. Only Parliament can, pass a delimitation act. Article 329 is the bar to interference by courts in electoral matters. Whatever the delimitation commission says goes. Okay, it cannot be challenged by any court. It cannot be challenged by any parliament or any law. It cannot be revoked or rejected. It has to be followed to the T. So remember these two articles. Okay, delimitation and bar on the court's interference. And also election petition is also mentioned in Article 329, but that's a separate idea, separate concept, but it is mentioned in Article 329. Okay, so delimitation commission. So we're going to be discussing delimitation commission here. Okay, so I hope so far the idea is clear. Like I said before, please go and read the Constitution. Please read these articles if you want to get better idea. And remember, you follow the wordings of the Constitution. You follow the wordings of the Constitution because they can simply give that clause or phrase, and they will simply ask what does it understand or which article it is. So please read the article. Article 82, so they can simply say Article 82, mentions the term delimitation commission. It does not. Okay, there is no mention of anything like that. Okay, they say that, Parliament may by law, do this. Okay, so please, understand the articles in such a manner. So this is the, title, heading of the article, readjustment after each census. Okay, so upon the completion of each census, the allocation of seats in the House of the People to the states and the division of each state into territorial constituencies shall be readjusted by such authority and in such manner Parliament may by law determine. There is no mention of the word delimitation commission, but this is essentially the, the source for delimitation commission. But delimitation commission is not a constitutional body because there is, the article does not directly install or create a delimitation commission. It empowers the Parliament to do so. So delimitation commission is not a constitutional body. It's a statutory body. Okay. provided that such readjustment shall not affect a representation in the House of People until the dissolution of the existing house. These are all technical phrases to prevent confusion. So they simply say that the current term of the house will continue. The delimitation will not affect the current house, current tenure of the house. Same thing is also given here. Okay, so this is the next important thing. Provided the first census taken after the year 2026 have been published, it shall not be necessary. Basically, it is again giving the clarity of Article 81, that different amendments. Okay, it's saying that there is no need to readjust the allocation of seats as that is currently fixed on 1971 until after the year 2026. Okay, it's basically summarizing what we have been saying. The division of each state may be readjusted on the basis of 2001 under this article. Okay, so basically what Article 81 had explained, what I just explained, they have again summarized. These are actually contents from the article itself, directly from the Constitution. Okay, so this was the law established by the Parliament, the Delimitation Act. Okay, so remember the first point. Who constitutes the Delimitation Act? The Act is passed by Parliament. It is constituted by the central government. That is the first point. Okay, appointed by the President. So first point is constituted by the central government. Second point, it is appointed by the President. Then the composition. It usually consists of a retired Supreme Court judge. It consists of the Chief Election Commissioner. It consists of the respective State Election Commissioner. Okay, these are the Constitution. The decisions are taken by majority. The question can simply say that decisions are taken by consensus. So remember, no, the decisions are taken by a majority. Decisions cannot be questioned in any court of law nor by any law of Parliament. Delimitation Commission, how many times has it been installed, used or enacted so far? 4 times. We will see all those things. 4 things with 4 separate act. The latest Delimitation Commission was under the 2002 Act itself. So it's not technically under the 5th time. It is still the 4th time Delimitation Commission has been used, because the same act was actually used for readjusting the territorial constituencies of Jammu and Kashmir. It was under the chairman Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai. So please understand that this is the 4th time only. So how many delimitation commissions have been there? 4. Okay, that is because they are all under the same act. I mean, like the 2002 Act was also used for the latest Delimitation Commission in 2019. Under the same act. So 4 times delimitation commissions have been there. Okay, now we will move on to the issue. Okay, we will move on to the issue. Okay, so once again I will just take you back to the Article 81. So we said that the Constitution says that the ratio or the number of people that is being represented by 1 MP or 1 seat has to be same across all the states, right? So let's go back to that equation. The equation says that seats allotted divided by population of state. Okay, this has to be same across all the states. This is what Constitution says, right? But now what is happening is, we see that the population of various states are increasing. Okay, so if this population, this denominator is actually increasing, the ratio to ensure parity across all the states, the seats allotted should also increase. Okay, which is actually kind of like a common logic. As population increase, the seats allotted to them also has to increase, so that the ratio will say the same value, right? Okay. So since certain states are increasing their population, what happens is that the seats that they have to be allotted are also to be increased. But due to the freeze that 42nd Amendment had actually, put in place, that allocation was not done. But now we are approaching the deadline. What was the deadline? 2026. After 2026, a census will be conducted and that data of population will be used in this formula, right? If that is used, the seats allotted should also increase so that the ratio is similar across various states. Okay, I will explain that bit also. So this is, say, a particular state A. Okay, and state A has population, its population increased. Okay, state A population has increased. Say you have state B. Similarly, for that state, population has decreased, or like it has not increased, or at the same rate as A. Then obviously the seats allotted to A will be greater than the seats allotted to B, right? So it was kind of like A getting benefits due to its increasing population, which almost which is a logical consequence of one citizen, one vote, one value. Basically from that idea. But A is actually now benefiting. But B is not benefiting. Now the freeze that 42nd Amendment actually brought in the beginning was actually to incentivize states to take up population control, right? So B, say from that time, okay, they said that this is the freeze, they act as a policy, they practice population control, right? So after 2026, the census is conducted and a seat allocation is done, A is getting more seats than B. So B is now penalized for actually doing that population control, right? This is the gist of the crux of the delimitation issue, okay? So that is explained here. Basically in India what is happening is the southern states were successful. The southern state has been successful. So B actually represents southern states. If the delimitation is done now, the southern states will suffer. But what happens if the delimitation is not done, if the process is now, like as of now it's going, it is using 1971 census, right? But the population has now increased to such a level that the number of population that one MP represents is highly skewed. Like one MP might representing like about 20 lakh, 20 lakh, 25 lakh. In the beginning at 1975, 1977 or when at that time it was very close to 10 lakh. So okay, so it's kind of like now almost 2 times there one MP represented 10 lakh in 1975-77 that time. Now one MP represents 20-25 lakhs across India. Okay, that is for the populous states. For the least populous states, it's very different again. So that one vote, one value is again getting skewed. So delimitation has to be done. Okay, we can't put it off any longer. It seems so. Okay, so this is just a table that is for your understanding only. Okay, so just for your understanding basically how it happened and all. So in 1977, each MP represented 10.11 lakh people. Ideally, constitution should be evenly distributed on this average. All right. So across India, this should be the ratio. Okay. But if you observe now, if you use 2011 census data, this is the the ratio. Right. Yeah. So this is the ratio. See, highly skewed, right? 16.7 is there in Kerala. Okay, 16.7 lakh people representing, one MP representing 16.7 lakh. So, if Lok Sabha seats are fixed at 543 and the allocation is done, then this will be the increase. Okay, but if the Lok Sabha seats are increased to 848, we observe that this will be the increase. See, almost all states are, including the southern state, are also increasing, but their allocation is not increasing, as the populous states. But still, all of the states will get an increased share. But this is just for your information. This is not like whenever you study, do not use the political side of the concept. Just understand the underlying concept, underlying logic behind this process, why it is being done, who does it. Please focus on objective concepts like that. Okay, so these are some of the key points. Delimitation Commission is not a constitutional body, keep in mind. The number of seats to be reserved for SC/ST shall be reworked on the basis of 2001 census itself. It's a key important point. So the number of seats that are going to be reserved for SC/ST are fixed on the basis of, they may give the option 1971 census, census after the year 2000, census after the year 2026, okay, and 2001 census. So remember, the number of seats reserved for SC/ST is determined on the basis of 2001 census. Keep that in mind. It's also decided by the Delimitation Commission. Total number of seats of state legislative assemblies are also freezed on the basis of 1971 census. Okay. This was mentioned in Article 171. The total number of seats of state legislative assembly are also freezed on the basis of data from 1971. Okay, the first Delimitation Commission was actually carried out by the President under the chairmanship of Justice N. Chandrasekhara Iyer. The second Delimitation Commission was under S.P.S.N. Verma. Third was under S.C. Justice J.L. Kapoor. Okay, there was no Delimitation Commission after 1981 and 1991. And the most recent was 2002 under the Justice Kuldeep Singh. Okay. This was the fourth Delimitation Commission, and it was approved. The recommendations were approved on 2008. Okay. Now, at that time, due to security reasons, various eastern states, northeastern state were actually excluded from the purview, or that redrawing of territorial constituencies were not done. Right. So these are all redrawing of territorial constituencies. They are not altering the calculation of that formula. They are just redrawing the territorial constituency for intrastate parity. So what happened was that in 2020, Ranjana Prakash Desai Justice, they actually, another Delimitation Commission was formed, but under the same Act of 2002 only. And what they did was that they included Jammu and Kashmir under this purview and took away the northeastern states. And for Jammu and Kashmir, we know Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh was, there bifurcated by the J&K reorganization act, and there was, the contiguous regions were reorganized. Okay, so this is a sample question for you to try out. Direct questions, 17 questions were asked in 2025. Keep that in mind. Under which of the following articles of the Constitution is the readjustment of seats and delimitation of constituencies mentioned? Okay, readjustment and delimitation. That is why I said you have to remember the wordings of the articles. Here the answer is option A, Article 82 and Article 327. 327 provides for the power of Parliament to delimit constituencies. Article 82 also provides for readjustment of seats via a particular authority. So to crack these kind of questions, please read the articles directly from the Constitution. Read from the internet to understand the concept, but that the text of the Constitution, you must be thorough with the wordings. Okay, so these are the GS2 GS2 mains. So basically delimitation can be asked in various areas. They can ask in the Constitution significant features, significant provisions are there. They can answer, put the question here. Functions and responsibility of union and states, issues pertaining to the federal structure, because federalism and the delimitation issue is there. Comparison of Indian constitutional scheme with other countries. How does delimitation takes place with other countries? They may ask to compare. Parliament and state legislatures structure, they can be also asked. Sample question is here. The freeze on delimitation based on the 1971 census was meant to encourage population control, but it has led to regional representation imbalances. Critical examine. So you have to say that this freeze on delimitation success and its drawbacks. So you first focus on, led to regional representation imbalances. You can say that skewed geography, that you can mention skewed contribution of economic, contribution to GDP, that skewed is there. Regional development, imbalance is there. But on the positive side, you can say that population control is success. Southern states are there. Social justice, allocation is more, inequality is less. All those things are there as a consequence of that freeze. So basically here you have to examine both sides. Then you can, at the end, you can just mention, this can be done in the future, like that. Like for example, America follows, particular type of equitable distribution when they reallocate states. But those are different ideas. Just mention the, in the end. But whenever you write for GS2, an important thing is that you have to mention articles. Okay, that is what gives you the extra mark. You have to address a question. You have to address a question, and you have to mention constitutional articles, case laws. These are the value additions. If you can draw a smaller, map that shows the, the contribution of states, that also would be great. Okay, so that is the, end of the delimitation. So please understand. Please understand articles, the formula that is given by the Constitution. Please understand the 3 amendments that we have discussed. What year is associated with each amendment. So just to recap. Okay. First we discussed Article 81, which is regarding the composition of the House of the People. Okay. Please remember the heading, title. Okay. And it provides for both interstate parity as well as intrastate parity. Okay. Interstate parity is there, intrastate parity is there. This intrastate parity is what we, division of territorial constituencies. Okay. Then you have to remember about 42nd amendment. You have to remember the 84th, 87th. Okay. So redrawing of territorial constituencies was allowed on the basis of 1991 census by the 84th amendment. Okay. Redrawing of territorial constituencies for the elections to the House of the People was allowed on the basis of 2001 census by 87th amendment. 84th amendment, remember the year 2001. This 87th was in the year 2003. 42nd was in 1976. Okay. Then, okay, so please remember that, census year after which the census, remember the year after which the census will be conducted, whose data will be taken for calculating interstate parity. 42nd amendment said that year would be 2000. Then 84th amendment came. 84th amendment came and that said the year 2026. Okay. So this is Article 81. So remember this. This was again summarized by Article 82, which says readjustment after census. After every census, readjustment would be there. That is provided under Article 82. Okay. Then we saw Article 171. Okay. Article 171 is regarding the composition of the state legislative assemblies. Okay. It is regarding elections to state legislative assemblies. Remember that it also provides for what was the formula there? Ratio of population of territorial constituencies divided by seats allotted. Okay, seats allotted to territorial constituencies. This was the formula. This should be same within the state. Okay, within the state. So again, it follows the same pattern. The 42nd amendment, what it said? Okay, for this 42nd amendment says after we will fix a particular year 2000, after which a census will be conducted, and that data, that population data will be used for this formula. Until then, 42nd amendment said we will use 1971 census data. Okay, 42nd. Okay, then we had the 84th amendment. 84th amendment said, okay, we will fix a particular year 2026, after which we will conduct a census, and that data will be used for population. Until then, you can redraw of the territorial boundaries of territorial constituencies under the 1991 census. Okay, 87th amendment said, okay, fine, we will also allow the territorial division of territorial constituencies on the basis of 2001 census data. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, so please remember the formula, please remember which population statistic will be used. Please remember the 3 amendments. Please remember article 327, 329 as well. 327 essentially is the power of parliament to conduct delimitation. 329 is basically the bar of on courts on interfering with these kind of matters, delimitation matters. Please remember the article 82 about the delimitation commission, the chairman, the composition, who constituted by the central government. It's appointed by the president. Please remember the composition. Please remember the political aspect as well. How the population, if a particular state increases the population, it is benefited because it gets a higher seat allocation, so that the ratio will remain the same. So please keep those kind of concepts in mind. Okay, so just for at the end, I think I need to explain that how that formula works. This is just an extra bit of information, but for your in-depth clarity on this idea. So basically we saw in article 81 the equation. So we'll go back to that equation. Okay, we will use say 1:10,000, right? Okay, so this is the ratio that it is being followed. Say at the time of 1977. Okay, 1:10,000. That is 1 MP, 1 seat represents 10,000 people. Okay, keep this in your mind. Okay, so say it was okay, say it was state A. State A had 1 lakh population, 10 seats, right? Okay, so say you had another state with 100 seats, 10 lakh. Okay, this is B. Okay, this is state A. Okay, B has 100 seats and 10 lakh. At the time of 1977 issue, and that period. Now say A had successfully, has reduced its population or controlled its population. Say now its population is say 10,000. Okay, and B has actually increased its population into say 10 lakh has now become say 1 crore. 1 crore. Okay, so H is the new seats that have to be allotted. Again, H is the new the number of seats that have to be allotted to B. H is to A. This A. Now we have to ensure this is the ratio across all the states, right? So since 10,000 should be here, we will see that A will get 1 seat. Right. So the ratio we are actually keeping in parity across all the states. So A will get 1 seat now. And what will B get? Okay. B will get almost how much seats? It will be 10,000, 1 crore divided by 10,000, right? So 1 crore divided by 10,000 almost makes up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is a crore. So divided by 10,000. Yeah, so 1,000 seats, right? 1,000 seats. So we can see that B gets 1,000 seats, A gets just 1 seat. Okay. So this is the crux of that issue. So there are several, we saw the table, how this, I'll just give you a simple example how that just, comes up. But please remember the formula provided by the Constitution and how this, things play out. But this is the basic idea regarding delimitation. Hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubts, just put it in the comment section and we will try to help you out. That's all from my side. Thank you.